Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to a new episode of the Looks Like On podcast. I heard that NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, is labeled as a pseudoscience. So I had to hit up my friend Vito. He's my childhood friend, and he's been studying this. So I wanted to get his thoughts on it. So that's why we recorded this video. Yeah, enjoy. What's up, bro?
All right. So, um, not much, man. Just chilling. Yeah, I don't really know what it is. I'm feeling I don't know. I guess I'm feeling different. I just feel like periodically there's been moments where I don't know, like I feel like I'm just becoming more and more like spiritually aligned, like
That's good,
with my
man.
path, and it feels nice. Yeah.
That's awesome. Wait, what is something that triggered that to happen recently?
Recently, well, like without without going too much into like personal detail. Honestly, honestly, man, it's a lot of introspection. Like the
Mm-hmm.
introspection is always something like I've been good at because before I wasn't like in my 20s, my late teens, like my 20s. I didn't really have a job. I wasn't really, doing much. But still, I did have a lot of time on my hands. Now I'm realizing, at least there was one silver lining that came from uh, from being a bum. Essentially, it was just a lot of time to just reflect. And yeah, so with every new experience, I just try to just reflect on what it could mean, what if there are any any signs or lessons I could be learning that are going to guide me on my future journey.
Mm-hmm. Like, have you learned any interesting lessons recently?
um let's see. So I feel like recently, not even recently, but just one of the biggest, probably the only big thing that I still feel like I need to work on, um, just in my path of self-healing, which is something I feel like the universe has picked up on and it's been helping me out a lot with, is just my patience.
Mm,
Just learning to be more patient. I'm realizing, I mean, I realize more and more every day in my job, how I was meant to end up at this job. They're teaching me like just more patience. I feel like recently, I've just my callers at my job. I've just had a lot more, just elderly callers that,
mm,
they're obviously, they're a lot slower, explaining things, a lot more confused. So I just feel like, the universe has been really testing my patience, these past probably few weeks, I would say. Um, and really one thing, if there, I've learned anything, now that you ask me, it's essentially it's just something we've all been taught before. Just now I'm truly accepting it. Really like understanding is that all good things come to those who wait and do not just wait. But
mm.
yeah, yeah.
Nice. Wait, so had you asked the universe for patience before?
It's never really something I asked it for. It's something I always I I guess yeah, like I said, it's not really something I ever asked for. It's just something eventually I became just aware and conscious that I really needed to work on. Funnily enough, like it was mainly my relationship with my ex. Um, 'cause I guess funny enough, the big realization was also, her level of impatience. I think she's the only person I know possibly more impatient than I am, and it's
Mm,
also just in different ways. Or we're impatient in different ways. Like she's more impatient. Well, just like all around. Like I've realized, I'm very I tend to be well I did tend to be very impatient in the for things in the short term. Like I was always looking for instant gratification, but now I'm also realizing I was never really impatient about things with the long term because I didn't really have that ambition back then. I wasn't really like seeing my future like that,
mm,
like really seeing what I wanted. Um so now just these past few months for again for reasons that are just a little more personal, but that I won't go into, but still I have been my long-term patience has been being put to the test, and I feel like just now I'm learning how to I'm truly um again like really I can't go into much detail, but the but just the past few days I feel like have been just significant in growth, in spiritual growth for me in that aspect that I've learned to understand just the value of patience.
nice, man. And this will probably tie in with your coaching career too, right?
Absolutely. Oh, everything does. That's one of the best things about having decided on this as a career, one of the career paths that I want to take is it's so like applicable, like it's so like it's just so I don't know if like malleable is the right word, but like
Mm,
it's such a malleable career. Like it can do so much for so many people. There's so many niches. Like it can do so much for you. Like it really is such an underrated career path, I think.
yeah, right. Nice. Yeah. Like, what would you say you are right now on your coaching journey?
Right now, specifically on my coaching journey, not I haven't made much advancements on that in particular. Like I said, I mean, I'm still I had offered to coach a so yeah, I'm assuming now you're talking about, in terms of I guess in terms of like legitimate like coach, like taking on an actual like client. Um I think I told you a while back I had a friend who was going through some stuff that, yeah, I offered to coach her. So yeah, really haven't heard back from her on that. Actually, well, yeah, honestly, I should probably just follow up with her again. Um, as far as just general coaching goes, like I've been getting a lot of just constant experience, just actually just coaching my ex like a lot, like because
Mm,
right now she's at a point where she has a lot on her mind, and she's obviously we're still in a situation where we're still just up to live together for a while. We're still friends, obviously. So yeah, she's coming to me for a lot of advice. And yeah, well, honestly, I feel it honestly every it helps. It just making you feel more and more like a coach. That's the other thing on some like pretty much every especially now that this is like a career we're actually trying to like attain, or something we're trying to turn into like an actual career. It's crazy how any actual um knowledgeable advice you give based on experience or just on factual evidence just just really now makes you like think, oh, like this is awesome that I'm doing this, there, like I'm actually coaching someone right now.
hmm. Nice. Yeah, I'm still like early in my coaching journey too. Like, I'm still working on getting my first client, my first client. Um,
I have started receiving coaching on how to make money from coaching because
Nice.
I
Yeah,
got
how's that
stuck.
going?
It's going really well actually. One thing that was suggested in there was about making content. Like my coach suggested that we should tell our story of whatever we've experienced.
Yeah.
And then the people that watch that and resonate with that, they yeah, they're going to stick around and follow our journey as well.
Yeah. No, no, I actually, it's funny that you say that because this is something that had occurred to me before. That's actually, it was around the time that's actually why I ended up posting that video on my on my page, just talking about, just my just the journey, the general journey I've had with mental health.
Mm.
Yeah, because I realized, yeah, the other day, and it's actually something I've seen before, on just on just videos, how to, like, Instagram video, how to get more followers and all that stuff. Like, it's and just, advice I've gotten is just be, like, people do ultimately want to hear your story if it's told from a place of, genuine, I don't know what the word is, sincerity, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. It's like being vulnerable or something.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so yesterday I posted my first piece of content like that, and it was about yeah, that I used to seek happiness in relationships, and it took me a long time to learn to stop, but I mean, I finally did learn that, but I just never made any content about it for some reason. It's like I was avoiding that topic. But then now it's like, wait, but that could help me find clients, so I should probably talk about it. Yeah,
Hold
man.
up.
Oh,
I'm just gonna, because I don't really like the glare from my window.
okay, that's cool. I'm gonna
I'm gonna come
charge my
over here for a
laptop real
second.
quick.
Yeah.
Just 1 second. Okie dokie. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah. It's crazy, bro. I have a chair in my room, and it's just like in the corner, like it's like a chair from like a dinner table, but yeah, just because there's no real room for it outside, and this is the first time I've sat on it. Like, I'm realizing this is the first time I've sat on it, like, for one of our meetings. Like, I've
Cool.
been sitting on my bed this whole time.
Oh, nice. Dude, so could you um try your best to explain to everybody what is NLP?
So NLP, it stands for neuro-linguistic programming. The best way I can explain it, just, based on my experience with it, um, it is essentially, it's a form of, I guess you could call it, you know, like, maybe like a cross between hypnotherapy and guided meditation from the way I've experienced it. It essentially, it's just, it's just a way to, put you in touch with your, just with your subconscious. So so my therapist would, describe it as, actually, is, like, the process is actually creating, like, new neural pathways in your brain.
Mm,
Um, if I could just explain, just in terms of feelings, it is just, guided meditation, putting you in touch with your subconscious, so you can, just pull out anything you need to, any past traumas,
mm,
any blocks that may have been, preventing you from just from getting to the, just the mindset that you want to be at. I remember my first encounter with NLP. It was, actually in Zigzag at the hostel, I had in Lima.
mm,
Um, it was actually, well, it's actually a Peruvian dude from Ica, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, he just yeah, that was my introduction to it. He said, "Yeah, just super chill dude, super spiritual dude." Um, and yeah, he just it's just in exchange for like for like a week of like stay, he gave me a few like free sessions, and I remember we worked on just 'cause I remember at the time what I really wanted to work on was just my anger, because at that point I was just I was one of these people that was just harboring a lot of like anger towards the world and towards the people for I mean there are multiple reasons, like I could give you a list right now, but yeah, and I was afterwards it was just like it was just kind of like gone. And so
Wow.
I mean just yeah, like just the feelings of just rage. It's like, yeah, I still had like my general like mindset, my viewpoints on things, but it's like my like anger that I was feeling towards humanity and everything. It felt like something just trivial, like unimportant. Like why was I feeling that?
Yeah.
And you know, it's funny. It's funny, dude, because now that we're talking about it, that is actually I credit that as like the first the first true step to my path on my path of self-healing, like that I'm on right now.
Wow. That's awesome. Like, is NLP like self-talk? Is it something like that?
It can be, yeah. It's a combination, honestly. So just walking you through like the experience, at least like with this guy, because this guy, like, I mean, my therapist that I'm seeing right now, she incorporates NLP into just hypnotherapy. She does a lot. This guy he did strictly NLP. So essentially, a session between us would be like is um he so it was like he would put me into like a guided trance. Like I wasn't out of it. It was just, like I said, it's more of like a guided meditation, but really I remember he would have me visualize a like just a timeline of, well, so first we would pick out an issue that I wanted to work on. They would just have me close my eyes, visualize just a timeline of my entire life, and like pick out one specific moment that I could date back, like probably the earliest moment that I could remember, that I could date back to where that trauma may have stemmed from. Uh, and after that, yeah, now I'm actually remembering. After that, it was kind of like he would ask me, like what's the worst that could happen if you confront these feelings, like what's the worst that could happen
Mm,
if yeah, so that kind of thing. And then I would tell him oh, X reason, and he would it's crazy now that I think about it, because it's like it's like coaching, because then he's like going deeper. But what happens then? What's the worst that could happen then? Like, but what's the worst
mm.
that could happen then? And then you could just you just keep going down, yeah, down that rabbit hole in your mind. But it's your subconscious, so uh, that's wild, man. It's like coaching your subconscious. It's like subconscious coaching. It's
Exactly.
crazy.
That's
Yeah,
sick, huh?
yeah.
Yeah, I felt so confused when I started to look it up recently, and then NLP was labeled as pseudoscience. And then I was like, wait a second, how is that even possible if it's actually working?
I mean, yeah, like, but that's the thing, bro. It's like it's working, but how can we really prove that it's working? Because like a successful mindset, like a transformation that could be attributed to pretty much anything, NLP or something else. You can't like, yeah. So yeah, it's essentially it's that, bro. Like people need just the most hardcore definitive proof to truly accept something like as an actual like science in society, as
Yeah,
something like concrete.
like I wish I knew what more proof do they need? Like, is it because we can't see the subconscious mind with our eyes? Is that what is blocking it from being labeled as legit?
Honestly, bro, sometimes like when I've like yeah, thought about this topic, that's what it seemed like. Honestly, that's almost the answer that I've that my brain has wanted to give me. Because it really is like people just like it's just crazy. Well, and it's crazy because now, I mean, I think this way now that, I've found my spirituality and I found my faith. Um, but before it was a little more understandable, but now it's just crazy just how just unbelievably like skeptical people are, even before I had truly like found like my faith like I am now. I always had like a sense of wonder. I always like to
Mm,
think of like, why couldn't this I did have a more agnostic viewpoint, but it's like, why couldn't this exist? But
mm,
it's crazy. People are just so skeptical of things that not everyone, but some people are, of things that they can't just see directly in front of their eyes, or that they can't actually witness. Um it's it's just, but and it's yeah, it's almost like it's just like people consider, like there's so many things that now that are like considered a phenomenon, right? Like it's like if I feel like there are things like if people haven't experienced it, then there's no way they could possibly understand it or believe it for themselves.
mm.
Which is sad, honestly. It's sad because, I think one of the best things in the world is a sense of faith and wonder.
Yeah, right. It's like if I'm trying to figure out like if NLP is labeled as pseudoscience because we can't physically see our mind, wouldn't psychology also fall into that category?
That's what I was thinking, right as you were like talking about it too. Like it's yeah, like any form of psychology might as well be thrown into that category, right? Because like, yeah, like just psychotherapy. Um uh e- Even when you think about it, how can you it's just, yeah, I'm starting to go down a huge fucking opening up a huge rabbit hole in my head that I don't even know if I want to go down. Like,
And yeah, and there's more too. It's like now I'm kind of thinking like these people who have labeled NLP as pseudoscience, is it possible that these people have never done any inner work?
it absolutely is possible, yeah, because unfortunately, the thing about the one drawback to the internet, probably the biggest drawback is that everyone has an opinion now. Everyone
Mm,
has an opinion. People, unhealed people, le- uneducated people, uh, like educated, narcissistic people. Like it's just like everyone has an opinion now. So really, it's just you're gonna find you could we could find like anything on anything online pretty much. Where exactly did you find this?
um, that's a good question. I think I wanted to learn more about NLP, so I looked it up on Gemini, which is like Google's AI.
Hmm.
And then the result that it gave me was like, oh yeah, NLP is a popular pseudoscience. And I was like, wait, what the fuck? I never thought about this as pseudoscience.
Me neither. No, when you texted me that, yeah, I was actually kind of shocked, bro. Like I don't understand. Yeah, because for me, I was consider it's a new it's just it was, well, new when it was discovered, just a new form of psychology,
Hmm.
just a new form of understanding the mind. Because essentially, like, what is because that's the thing. I mean, essentially, it is putting NLP is putting you in touch with your subconscious mind.
Hmm.
And like I can definitely say, with uh, it's just the mind is capable of so much that, and I feel like, yeah, the only path to truly understanding its capabilities is just further enlightenment and spiritual awakening. So, it would make sense that the people that believe that really believe this as a pseudoscience are just way on the opposite side of the spectrum. It could be, it could be, just atheists, just men of science, people of science that just yeah, that like I said, I mean, they need that proof in front of that definitive, some form of like definitive proof in front of their eyes to consider like concrete like science.
It's like if they actually tried it, they would get that proof. But I mean, of course, you can't see it.
Exactly.
You can't see your mind with
Exactly.
that, but you can see somebody behaving completely different in a situation that used to trigger them.
Exactly. Yeah, but that also then we get down to, your relationship to that person. Like yeah, how how spiritual that person is, how spiritual the people you hang out with are, because obviously, if well, spiritual or just whatever mentality you like what have you, um if yeah, I mean, if you're hanging, obviously, if you're hanging around with people with your same just way of thinking, your same mentality, obviously it's not going to change to anything else.
Mm. Yeah,
But
your subconscious is already like cemented
ex-
in such a way that you don't even believe in the subconscious.
and you want to know the most ironic thing about that? You want to know what could actually help open up their minds?
What is that?
NLP.
And they wouldn't even know it.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know. It's like, hey, try this new just this new form of, I don't know, it trick them into thinking it's hypnotism or something. I don't know.
Yeah, or probably
Yeah,
just
this shit's not gonna work. And then like 2 weeks later, yeah, it's like they haven't even noticed. It's
right.
maybe that's what it takes. But we would just yeah, maybe we just have to just like sneaky NLP.
Exactly. Yeah, you could probably do it without even saying that you're gonna do it. Like you just talk to them, and then as you're talking, you just break down all of their beliefs. Just using logic. Like it's not even using like any like magic or any bullshit. Like it's just logic.
No, yeah, literally. Yeah, the thing I've noticed is that, when I mean, it really is so much at this stage that we are right now. Like, I think we really do have to acknowledge that it really is so much easier said than done. Like right now, it's easy for us to talk this way because we've made it this far. But
Mm,
like a few years ago, we were right where billions of other people still are.
mm,
And I think back now, like, yeah, 'cause it's crazy. I think back now, it's like this was so easy. This was so easy. But like when I also think about the old Vito, it's like obviously it was hard as fuck for him.
mm.
So yeah, it's just, and like everyone's on their own journey. Everyone's
That's true.
everyone's just on their own journey of healing. Like yeah, everyone's at different stages of their journey. So
Mm,
yeah, I mean, you just have to, and that's actually for me. That's that's something where patience comes into play for me. Is thinking about it. That's something I've been trying to think about personally. Is also this person is simply they're in a it doesn't matter, like where they are in the world, how old they are, like what's going on in their life. They're at a different place of their in their healing journey.
mhm. Also, it makes me think about some people in like leadership positions that they don't really
Well,
have. I should have got 10 minutes. Like some people in leadership positions don't really have that high of awareness, but the things they say because they wear a lab coat or whatever, like people just believe immediately.
what'd you say? Repeat that.
Like I'm thinking now about people in leadership positions that don't really have like a high level of awareness, but because they wear the lab coat and they have the uniform and everything, people just believe them immediately.
Yeah, well, because it's conditioning from society. Obviously, we
Mm,
have like all societies have that that general hierarchy. Whether it's whether it's at a company or a household or anything like yeah, people in positions of authority are just immediately just respected. Yeah, and it is kind of frustrating when you think about so but just the fact that this sometimes this is a like this whole like dominance and like just hierarchies are just so ingrained in certain cultures all around the world that this is just the way the world is, and like it's normal to them.
yeah.
um yeah, it's yeah, it's normal to their place in the world where it's normal for and I mean it is what it is, it's their culture. But I mean for us it's a culture shock because we're on the opposite side of the world. It's a whole different thing over here. But and just the fact that they're literally like where their cultures in the world where it's like you have to get the job or have the career that your parents want you to have, and that's okay. Like that's just normal. That's life.
Mm,
Here it's just so much different because here in the Western world, we value individualism so much more. So yeah,
yeah.
like it's just all about doing our own thing over here.
Would you say this reminded me of this joke? This Indian guy said that like, oh yeah, in India, Nike is so popular because all of their shirts say just do IT.
Wait. Okay. All right. Yeah. It took me a second. It took me a second. It took me a second. Yeah.
In Vietnam, it kind of feels like people usually choose I don't know, whatever major feels the safest, I guess. Uh but I'm sure their parents want them to be yeah, like doctors and lawyers and like the usual stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah, actually, that's the thing. I mean, like how because yeah, I mean, cultures are just different all over the world. Like how what would you say is more like the general route in Vietnam? Like would you say people just end up doing more what they're passionate about, or just, going into, I guess, the family business and shit like that?
I think most people don't know what they are passionate about. Um or maybe they knew but they forgot. Maybe they knew when they were kids. Um but then there's just so much stuff happening, like especially in the city, like it's just so fast paced, things are happening.
Hmm.
You gotta decide quickly, and no one is showing you how to like slow down and make a calm decision. So I think they might be rushing a bit. Actually,
Like Lima.
they have like like at least in Asia, like they have like a little social checklist that you have to start checking them off as you go along. It's like, oh, finish high school, check. Go to university, check. And then like once you finish university, suddenly everybody you know is like, hey, so when are you getting married? And you're like 22. Hey, so
Yeah. So see, it's that kind of thing, but yeah, that kind of thing is it's so common, like all over the world, even in the States, bro. Like I mean, it's just well, I mean, not now, but before, just like 2, 3 generations ago,
mm,
that was the thing because it was Yeah, I feel like we might have like this is something we might have gone into in like a previous conversation of ours too. It feels like, you know, societally, like just this is something like universally actually that it's just we've all just universally like been conditioned to believe for so long that that's how it's done. That's how you get a happy life. You
Yeah.
study, yeah, well, you study more, or like go to college, uh, get married, get a job, have kids, and then you grow old with your family, and then you retire happy. But that's that's happening so little nowadays compared to before.
Uh, and like I love how in
So
those suggestions, like they never suggested like, hey, do the thing that's meaningful for you. Like that's never part of
hey,
the thing.
hey, how about being happy? How about that? Isn't that important?
Why isn't like gratitude part of that list? Like, isn't that like one of the most basic things to feel actual happiness?
Yeah, but you know, I mean, the thing about gratitude though is gratitude requires selflessness and empathy to a degree, and you know that's just the issue. You know, it's become just more and more of a problem over the decade, over the years, as you know, people we just I think collectively would just yeah, I don't want to say we become more selfish, just maybe a little more self-centered and just our, you know, our own belief, what we believe, you know, what we think is right. And but essentially that's in itself, it's its own form of selfishness. You know, we're not really considering other people, other people's opinions, other people's feelings. And yeah, that's what's necessary to really to truly like say this is awesome. Like that, thank you for whatever. Thank you for being alive, for the fact that I'm alive. Like,
Yeah.
thank you for everything I have. It does require a certain level of empathy that I didn't have before, and I honestly I didn't think I would ever get. But just I'm glad that I have that perspective now. But like I said, it's all part of the healing journey. You know, people I'd like to think that, you know, even the people who are just older, you know, more middle aged, I'd like to think it's not too late for them or just anybody in general.
Mm, right.
Because we all deserve this happiness, bro. We all deserve to be to know what it's like to just be fully healed and just be fully just aware and enlightened, because that's how we can ultimately just be happy, just living life, just being alive.
Mm. Yeah, I'm thinking back to that little pre-made list of like this road to happiness or success, and thinking about how they never even talk about gratitude in there at all. But now when I think about it, it's like if gratitude became more mainstream, it might actually hurt consumerism because people would be more grateful, they would buy less things, and ultimately
That's a
somebody
very good point.
would not benefit from that.
That's a very good point. And eventually there's just whoever's the big guys, the ones in power would find some way to yeah, to just put an end to it. At the end of the day, could you really? Because it's gratitude. It comes from inside. Like this is something that I've given a lot of thought into. Like if people like just this is the thing. I mean, if people just healed, I mean, in general, you know, gratitude being one of many steps for that happening. Um I mean, you know, I feel like it would be a problem for a lot of the people like in power.
Yeah, dude, imagine if like suddenly like every woman on earth stopped being self-conscious about their skin and all of this stuff. What would happen to
Hmm.
all like the skincare products? Like
Hmm.
they need women to be insecure, or else who can they sell to?
Yeah,
Oh, yo, by the way, this is gonna close in a minute. Any final thoughts, bro?
Um, Honestly, not really, bro. I feel like we've covered a solid amount. Like, this has been a solid conversation.